Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back for another deck profile here. Now, obviously, everyone knows that Ancient Guardians came out, and that set's very strange, to say the least. And obviously, the Ogdoadic or Ogdoadic or whatever you want to call him. I call him Ogdoadic because it's like a boa, like Doa. You know what I mean? Because they're reptiles, but you know what do I fucking know. So, but anyway, so I was like researching the deck through the week. And it was me and my girlfriend's 2-year anniversary, and she got me a bunch of boxes of that set. So I was like, yo, perfect. Thanks, babe, by the way. I love you.
I love you.
I was like, yo, let's play around with this deck. So big shout out to my dude Cody too. I was gonna do another deck profile, and then I was like, you know, he was like, yo, dude, just do the Reptile deck, and I was like, all right, dude, I will. So I went ahead and looked at it, dude, and since Wednesday I've been testing this deck, and let me tell you, dude, this deck's fucking absurd. So, you know, a lot of the things too, like if you look up the deck, Ogdoadic, whatever you want to say, and people are doing a lot of cookie cutters, the same combos, it's kind of boring. And like I'm taking from one of that, like the best ways to play the deck, and then doing something with it that's very different. I haven't seen it anywhere yet because the deck's new as well, but without further ado, guys, it's Ogdoadic, the Reptile Infernoids, dude. So I'm imagining you guys can figure out where I'm going with this, but there's a bunch of other things in here, so definitely stick around for that. Now the deck as itself is just, it's a fucking smoke show. So you guys will be seeing more of this deck on the channel. I'm gonna do I have like 4 or 5 builds of this deck, and I do have some honorable mentions at the end as well. So without further ado, this is 60 cards. I tried to cut it down, and then like all of a sudden I was just like, yo, like let's just make it the nuts. So we did. I like the way this build has flowed since I built it. So, but anyways, guys. So, anyways, one Ogdoadic, the Abyss dude. I don't know why they changed the name. It was Abyss. Now it's whatever the fuck this is. I know it's based off of Egyptian something. But anyways, so this guy, if he's in the graveyard, you can tribute 3 monsters, summon it from the graveyard, and then he has a quick effect while he's on the board to send all the monsters on the board to the graveyard that were not summoned from the graveyard. So this card's insane. I know people aren't playing this. I've seen a bunch of lists without this. I disagree. I think this card's absolutely insane. I would always play this, excuse me, as a one-of. So, and then one Ailerit. This guy, in this build, I think this is my, this would probably be my favorite one, I think. Especially of the big guys. But what he does is while he's in the graveyard, tribute 1 monster, special summon him. Your opponent can add 1 monster from their graveyard to their hand. Also, when he is special summoned new chain link, he can target 2 of your banished monsters, including 1 reptile, and put them back in your graveyard. Now, this is insane for this deck. Obviously, since you know I'm playing Infernoid, you understand why. It kind of recycles the Infernoid engine, so it's just very good. 1 curse. This guy's insane too. While in the graveyard, you can tribute 1 monster, special summon it. Your opponent can special summon a monster from their graveyard as well, but its effects are negated. Also, when this card is special summoned, you can special summon a Ogdoadic, whatever the fuck, reptile, level 4 or lower from your graveyard, and then banish it when it leaves the field. This card's absolutely insane. And then 1 Zoha. This card's very good. I think this so far is my favorite one of the bunch. So this card, whenever it leaves the field and goes to graveyard, or if it's special summoned from the graveyard, your opponent can draw a card, and then you can add 1. I'm just gonna call them OGs. 1 OG from your deck to your hand, and then if this card's in the graveyard, you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and then add them to your hand. So the card's very good. And then we'll go over the small ones, the maximum. So 3 Nunu. This card's, I think this is like the, this card's very good. All these are just very good. So 1 Nunu anyway. So you can send him from your hand to the graveyard to Foolish Burial from your deck. Send from your deck to the graveyard a Dark Reptile. And then if you control no monsters, or if you only control OGs, you can special summon this from your graveyard to the field, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you're locked into only special summoning reptiles while he's face up. So, So that's very good. And then 3 of the New Yeah. This card's absolutely ridiculous as well. It's kind of the same thing as New. You can send it to the graveyard, send it from your hand to the graveyard, send a light reptile from your deck to the graveyard, and then if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Ogdoadic spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So, very good. And then for the rest of the reptile monsters, 1 Snick. I think you just can't not play this card in the deck. I think this card this card has such a new life, new beginning. I mean, this card's insane. Everyone loves this card, but this card, being searchable off of, King of the Feral Imps and stuff, is just absolutely insane. So there's that, guys. So, all right, and then obviously I'm playing Infernoid, so 3 Decatron. Everyone knows what this card does. On normal or special summon, you can send 1 Infernoid from your deck to the graveyard. It becomes that effect and level. So, card's very good. Also, that's 1 of your normal summons in the deck, technically. But and then 1 Entra. I still think so. For my Infernoid lineup, I actually cut it down, but I think the ratio that I have right now, I'm very happy with. But 1 Entra, banish 1 Infernoid from your graveyard, special summon it from your hand, and it can return 1 of your opponent's face-up cards to the hand. So it kind of gets rid of floodgates in certain scenarios. It's very good. So there's that. And then 1 Harmadic, banish 1 Infernoid from your graveyard, special summon it from your hand, and then it can pop 1 face-up card. So, and then 1 Petrulia. This one is banish 1 Infernoid from your graveyard, special summon it from your hand. And then destroy a spell or trap. Also, I forgot to mention that all the small Infernoids have the same effect where just during your turn you can tribute a monster and banish a card from your opponent's graveyard. The big ones have that, but it's a quick effect during either player's turn. So, and then once Jet, this is the one you play for Void Feast. I mean, this card just sucks, but you have to play it. It's in some scenarios it's decent. I think this is only the only real brick. I hate drawing. This is the only card I don't like drawing. But I think when it attacks, your opponent can send 1 from their action at the rear. I don't know. I just summon this with Void Feast. I don't like that card at all. But and then for the rest of the Infernoids, I actually cut down on a smaller package. Everyone that knows me knows I love Infernoids, but I actually made a smaller lineup this time. So 1 Sistemas. So this guy has banished 2 Infernoids. Also, like I said with the earlier ones, the small ones, you can banish from your hand as well. I forgot to mention that. I think everyone knows what Infernoids do by this point, since they came out in 2015 or late 2014. But this one, banish 2 from graveyard or hand, special summon it. It's inherent, doesn't start chain link. And then during the battle phase, if this card attacks, at the end of the battle, after it's done attacking, you can non-target banish card. So, and then during either player's turn, you contribute a monster and then banish card in your opponent's graveyard. So that's my favorite one out of the Infernoids. And then 1 Tondel. This one's insane too, to be honest. This one got a little bit better, but it's also banished 2, from hand or graveyard. Special summon it, and whenever it kills a monster by battle, it can attack once in a row again. So also it's got the DD Crow effect during the player's turn by attributing a monster to banish a card from the graveyard. And then we get to the big boys, the 2 Deviati. So this is banished 3 Infernoids, but on summon it's a heavy storm, except for it does not destroy void spell or traps. And you can tribute a monster, and it will negate a monster effect and banish it from anywhere. It doesn't, whatever the monster effect is. It can be from hand, graveyard, whatever. And then 2 Anunku, 2 Anunk dudes. This is the banish 3 as well, and whenever he's summoned, he will dark hole the board, and whenever your opponent activates a spell or trap, he can tribute a monster, negate, and banish it. So the card's very good. And then so after testing this deck, I have a bunch of random. I have a couple engines in here, a couple cards that I really enjoyed playing. And I haven't seen them a whole lot in the past either, but I'm playing one of this dude. This is the, if you guys know the layer structure deck, this is the terraforming from him. You can discard this card to add Layer of Darkness from your deck to your hand. Also, If he's on the board, you can tribute a dark monster. If you don't have layer, you have to tribute your own dark monster and then draw a card. And then if you didn't tribute him, you can add a basically adds Diablos from your deck to your hand. So, and that follows up suit with Homeboy, Diabolos. This card's insane. If you tribute a dark monster, you can special summon this card from your hand and graveyard, and it can't be targeted by card effects. Also, your opponent can't tribute it, meaning they can't kaiju it. And they can tribute a dark monster and put one of their cards from their hand on top or bottom of their deck. The only thing with this is it's very cool with like hitting it with Monster Gate or something like that. Now it's just very nice to have the rank 8 play. I would say so. Card's very good. It's been insane testing all week. And then I got to play the Escatos. So this card's insane. Banish 3 different types from your graveyard, especially on this card, and then this card can't be destroyed by card effects. You can call a type that's on the board. It'll just destroy it, and then doesn't have to destroy it, but and then your opponent can't summon that kind of type until the end of the next turn. So I feel like this card was just that much better now that people are playing the Reptile engine and stuff. Like the Reptile engine goes in so many different decks. I have so many lists for this deck, but this card's insane. So, and then I am playing two Nemesis Flag. So this is a Pyro, which is kind of important. Also, if I was playing Rekindling for some reason, you could rekindle this and the deck of Trunks. They're both 200 defense. I'm not playing Rekindling though. Relax. Don't click off the video. But this guy, you target one of your banished monsters, shuffle it in the deck, special summon it, and then once during your main phase, you can add a Nemesis monster from your deck to your hand. So, card's absolutely ridiculous. And then, so that's it for the monsters. Then we go into the spells. So one of the Water Lilies, I only play one of this. So I've seen like a bunch of people like play 3 in a 40 card list. I understand this card's insane. The problem with this card is like, obviously it's searchable. So the new searches it. So I don't know why you would play more than one. Also, its only effect other than the Foolish Burial is going to resolve if you drew Snake Rain. So I don't know. I think one of is completely fine. So basically what this card is, it sends a Reptile from your deck to your graveyard. If you have 5 reptiles in your graveyard, you can special summon a reptile from your graveyard after this card resolves. So, ridiculous. And then, go through the one-ofs again. Obviously, Reasoning. I mean, I'm playing Infernoids. I just think this card's really good because there's so many different levels in the deck right now. So, then the one Terraforming along with the one Set Rotation. You guys will see the field spell lineup. And then still just the 2 pots. I still think 2 of these is fine. Excuse me. I ended up cutting the 3rd after testing because there was 3 games I opened 2 and I was very upset about it. So it's kind of like me with Gamma where I just can't. Something with me and playing it is, I don't know. But 2 of these is fine for me. You would probably play 3 if you want to play this. Also, card's not necessary, but it's very good. And then obviously the Bee's Knees, the card that's Snake Rain, So this card from your hand, send 4 reptiles from your deck to the graveyard. I would invest in collector's rares of these if I didn't think it was going to get limited or banned. So we'll see what happens with this. If there was events, I would probably buy the collector's rare. I really like this card. So and then for some of the field spells, obviously 3 Layer Darkness. I mean, this is just what makes the deck. The Infernoids and the Ogdoadics go very well together. This card's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't tell you how many times like this got negated without them even knowing what I played. Like I just played it and they were like, "Nope, see you later." People know how good this card is. This card's absolutely ridiculous. So, what are you gonna do, right? So, and then the rest of these 3 Dark Ruler no more. I still chose to play this. I still feel like this deck of all decks should play this. Still, I know the format's very diverse, and sometimes you could play against something that this isn't good against, but at the same time, I think you have the upper hand if you don't actually need this, just because of how good the deck actually is. Like with the power spells and stuff, it's just absolutely insane. So, and then 3 Monster Gate. Still, I'm playing the Lair build with Infernoids. That card is just. This card's like absurd. So obviously, like I was talking about with the lair, like, you know, they could be playing like a decent sized board, like even against like Eldritch or something. Like they'll just have a Gold Lord, 3 back row. I'll play Lair of Darkness. They're like, okay, cool, and then I'll just Monster Gate their Golden Lord, and then it turns off the traps. So it's just like, I don't know. I still feel like this card's just absolutely ridiculous. So, you know, and then 3 Void Banishment. Once per turn, you can discard a card, add 1 Void spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Also, if an Infernoid monster and one of your opponent's monsters battles, you can use this, and it turns your Infernoid into a DD Warrior Lady. You banish this, your Infernoid, and the monster that battled. This card's just, you know, insane. So, plus it's a discard outlet, so like once you draw like the Reptile monsters, you can just pitch them or whatever. So, and then 3 Void Imagination. This card's absolutely insane as well. It's shit all fusion, but it's just much better. Searchable because of the imagination. Also, while it's face up on the field, all your level 2 or higher Infernoids become level 1. Your opponent takes half damage, which is fine. And you can send this card from your field to the graveyard if your opponent controls an extra deck monster and you do not. And then you can use 6 Infernoid materials from your deck as well as from board and hand. So this card's just, you know, see you later. Woo! And then for the other field spell, to the end of the spells, I know, Mystic Mine, I mean, fucking, I hate this card too. This card in this deck is just absolutely just, you know what I mean? So, there's not a whole much to say about this. I don't like this card as like a card. I wish this card would get banned or limited or something, but, you know, what are you going to do? So, and then for the traps, I actually do play traps. I play one Void Feast. I think one's all you need. If they make you go first, you would side in 2 more. But you want to have 1 in your hand, 1 in your deck, and a 60 carder, dude. Because you'll search it with the other Void spell, you know, if you need it. So the card is a blowout though. If they make you go first, or like if you side deck and they go first. And then the last card is pretty evenly matched, dude. So this card just, I've been waiting so long to play this card again. Like, this is one of my favorite trap cards of all time. This card is absurd, obviously, as everyone knows. So, and then for the extra deck, the extra deck in this deck, there's a whole bunch of things you can do with it, however you want, really. It's kind of player preference, but for this week, this is what I enjoyed. So, I'm only playing 1 Tierra. So this one you need a Nunku and Deviati, and then plus however many Infernoids, and then you follow his dots respectively. So if you use 3 monsters, both players send 3 monsters from their extra deck to the graveyard. If you use 6 monsters, both players send 3 from their extra deck, or from the top of their deck to the graveyard. And then as bullet points go on and on. So this card's just, you know, insane. You usually make it in the extra monster zone because you make Gravity Controller over it. But, and then for the that's the only feud. I only play 1 Tierra in this list. I was testing Extravagance. I just really liked the extra deck as a toolbox with this deck because there's so many things you can do. So, you know, and then for the Exceeds, obviously one of the King of the Fair Ellipses. I mean, you know, so I don't even know how to explain. You just 2 level 4s, and then you attach and add a Reptile from your deck to your hand, and then one of the this card is just so. This card can attack your opponent directly. If it does, it pops a card, and then when your opponent activates a spell or trap, you can detach one, negate it. I just like this because it's level 8, so like this with the, you know, let's say Tondel, and you know, Ailerit or, you know, Curse or whatever, and then obviously it attacks directly and makes Zeus, so, you know, Zeus is insane. And then for the Link ones, just one of the Anima. This is basically there in case the Decatron gets stopped, you know what I mean? So, and then 1 Gravity Controller, like I explained, with the Tierra, just basically gets rid of the Tierra. So I really like this card a lot too, as well, for other things. Also, okay, so now Link 2s. I almost didn't do this deck profile because I have 1 proxy in the deck and it's still in the mail. I was hoping to get it today. I didn't, but I was like, yo, I'm not gonna let 1 proxy stop it. It's the Alien Link 2. So this card is absolutely ridiculous. So this card, yep. What it does is quick effect during either player's turn. You can discard a Reptile from your hand in the graveyard, and then whatever its level is, you can distribute X amount of A counters on the board to monsters. They don't do anything unless you play alien cards, which obviously I don't. But if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect in any way, if I kill it, they kill it, whatever. Like I could Anunku it, pop the board, and then it would resolve. But anything really. And then it'll special summon non-link reptiles from your graveyard equal to or less than the number of A counters on the board. So card's insane. This should be here Monday, but I'm going to do some more deck profiles with this. I have another deck profile next week. It might not be this, but we'll see what happens. But this was my proxy. I'm not going to let it stop me, so bear with me, guys. The mail. You know the mail. Anyways, for the rest of the Link 2s, one Hulk. So this is really good. Like Decatron, like even if it gets negated, you produce another monster, and then you can make this, which summons another Decatron, and then you won't get the dump off Decatron. It just creates another Infernoid for you to link into. This card's just been really insane. Also, sometimes depending on how the board state is, I would use that for the pot cards. And then one Reproducus. Obviously, this card, you know, you saw the Nemesis engine. Like, you know, you could summon the Nemesis and underneath it, and then make it a certain type, and then call that. It won't die, and then your opponent can't play that for the rest of the turn. Also, it'll turn one of your dudes to a Reptile, like one of your Infernoids to a Reptile, so you can make the alien Link 2. The card's just very good. Then the rest of the Link 2s, the Phoenix, the IP. IP is very good, obviously. And then Link 3s, I do still play the Unicorn, and I play one of the BLSs. The BLS actually hasn't come up too much. Unicorn has come up more, but the BLS is just a very good utility card. Depending on the matchup, sometimes this card just wins the game by itself. You know what I'm saying? And then Link 4's one access code, and then I am playing one Underworld Goddess this time because of the IP. The card's really fucking good, especially against like the meta now, with how things are, like with the Ogdoadic, the Reptile deck. Like this card could actually steal wins sometimes. So you know, take it how you will. But I was gonna show a combo video, but there isn't a combo video that hasn't already been posted 4 million times, and I'm not playing the Invoked engine. You know that, like, I have a build for that. I will probably show that in the next couple weeks or something like that. And then I do have a couple honorable mentions for this list. So the honorable mention, the Queen. Yeah, dude, I pulled a CR Queen, dude. Card's very good. The King and the Queen. I was testing the King in the main deck. I wasn't playing Queen. The King just never came up. So depending on the meta, this deck will always be around. Like even if Snake Rain gets limited or whatever, I think this deck will always be around because this deck just bends to the format. Like 'cause these cards do things that, like, you know, if it was like a Salamangreat format and like the, you know, once you know what these cards do, you'll understand. But so these two, honorable mention, Pinkertops, another Nemesis flag that I didn't play, one Protoss. This is the same thing as Escatos, but it's type instead of, or it's attribute instead of type. And then I was playing the Foolish Burial. I ended up cutting it. Same with the 1-for-1 for the Decatron, Heartbeat's Feather Duster. I would side deck this. And then one of the Void expansion. This is the field spell. Like I want to have another field spell in the deck for set rotation. I was playing this. This just never really came up. This card's very good though. It's just kind of slow if you're in a going second deck. You know what I mean? So like you would build this going first, Infernoids, but you know, neither here nor there. And then three Super Polys. I mean, this is kind of, you know, with Lair of Darkness and whatever. And then for the other cards that I was testing in the extra deck, this actually never came up. So all the Infernoid players, you know, they'll be like, oh, dude, where's the Equal Max, dude? It just never came up because the fucking Reptile cards just ended up winning the game as well. So, and then one of the number 68s, this card's just absolutely insane. I wish I had 16 slots because this would be in there. The Ningirsu came up, I think, 5 times since Wednesday, but, you know, it's just kind of how you want to play it. And then for the rest of the cards. Just the fusions you would use for you know, whatever fusions you want to play for Super Poly. So, but yeah, guys. So, I hope you like this deck profile. I hope you test this. If you guys like Infernoids, you would love this list. This list is fucking insane. So, yeah, let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. Next week, I think I'm going to be doing the Phantom Knight FTK. I actually originally was going to do that today, but then my dude Cody was like, dude, do the Reptile deck. And I was like, all right, dude, you got it. So, and, you know, I like to put my little spin on it. He's like, do something that people haven't, that's not on YouTube yet. So I was like, all right, dude. So, I know people mentioned Lair of Darkness, but nobody really mentioned the Infernoid part. So, but either way, guys, yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Cheers.